StreamYard. Is it?
Yeah, yeah, it
Oh.
is. Yeah, but we're live now. Also, when I move, I need to like sort my thingy out because it shakes. So apologies about that. Anyway, hello. If anyone's watching us, I always think no one's probably bothering to watch, but if you are, hello. So the whole idea of this is I just want to have a chilled out cup of tea. I've got a cuppa. Have you got a drink? Got this.
It's
Nice
all here.
little.
Yeah.
Awesome. You haven't got a Red Bull like James yesterday.
I haven't been to the shop yet, so
Yeah.
no, I haven't.
I've also got a Christmas jumper on. Got Mama Roo,
All
because it's
right.
1st of December, Anyway, so the idea behind starting this was that I realised I had like 5,000 nearly connections on here, and there's a ton of them that I don't know. Some of them I know really well, like you.
Yep.
But some of the others I've never spoken to, and I tried to reach out to some of them and have a conversation, like with no agenda, just saying, "Hey, I'm Jodie. I realise we're connected. We've not spoken before. Like I do lead generation consultancy where I help companies improve their strategies and processes." And some people wrote back and they were like, "No, thanks, not interested." And I was like, "What has happened to LinkedIn?" Because like this is a
Yeah.
networking platform and I'm trying to network and I'm just getting basically people like just shutting me down straight away because I've mentioned lead generation, so they think that I'm going to try and sell them something, which wasn't my agenda. So I thought I'm going to just have some laid back cup of teas with some people that I know and chat
Yeah.
about what the hell has happened with LinkedIn and all of this spamming that goes on, because it's absolutely, I get it, it's annoying. Yeah, so that's the aim of this. So there's a couple of questions that I've got. I didn't want to really like make it kind of structured or planned. There's a couple of things I want to ask you, but
No.
the first thing I'm going to start with is, have you noticed that as well? Like, because obviously first you should introduce yourself. I'm new to this, so I forgot to say that. Do that first.
Well, hopefully you can see my name somewhere here. But my name is Adam Weeks, if you can't see it. I'm the sales team lead at a company called Big Tin Can. We are a sales enablement software vendor, and I've been working there now for 4 years. Been in software sales over 10 years, and been in sales for like 13 years in total. And prior to that, I was in the army, so which not many people see, but I've noticed this really annoying thing that's happening at the moment, which we can talk about on here. But yeah, I used to be in the army for 6 years. Joined when I was 16. Never finished school. No GCSEs. Actually, you could probably, yeah, they make up the bottom end of the alphabet, all of those GCSE results. And yeah, traveled to many different parts of the world. And now I'm here selling software, living the dream, and yeah, just trying to make LinkedIn a better place, like you are,
Yeah,
and like many
yeah,
others, because it's turned into a bit of a, not a
yeah.
cesspit, but it's not going in the right direction a little bit.
It's not, is it? It's not a nice place to be at the moment. Which is a shame
Mm.
because there's so many nice people on here, but I think there's like a handful of people that are ruining it. I was talking when I was talking to James yesterday, I was saying it's like going to a networking event and everyone's like chatting and having a really nice laid back conversation. And then some idiot just bursts in and like smashes the doors open with a megaphone. They're like, I can get you 25 million leads in like, a day, and you don't have to pay anything. And everyone's just like, mate, like chill out.
Yeah.
And that is
Mm.
basically what LinkedIn is about. You open your inbox and you're like, oh my God, what's this? But yeah, have you noticed that? Talk to me about your experience with it.
I mean, the the to be honest, what I've noticed recently is I've been getting a lot of connections. It's like, hey Adam, love some of your content. Would love to connect. And I'm like, yeah, cool. No worries. Let's connect. And
Yeah.
you might find something that might be of useful. If it's just one person that gets use out of it, then I'm happy enough for that.
Yeah.
But then it's an hour later. Hey Adam, do you have you heard of lead generation services via email? And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
yes, I actually have seen this. And I thought you were here to look at my content and not pitch me.
Yeah.
And I'm like I get it. It's fine. Um, some of the stuff that I've seen come through sounds pretty cool, but again, it comes back to the good old ICP. Have you done your research? And unfortunately, you haven't, because I don't buy this type of solution. I'm not a buyer. If you'd looked at my profile, you can see exactly that.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of person that is interested in buying SEO or PPC stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's become a little bit recently over the last couple of weeks. It's become a bit more intense. But the worst thing that I get at the moment is trying to personalize around the army stuff on my LinkedIn.
Really?
It's just a yeah. I mean, it. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm all for personalization. I talk about personalization. Like I'm all
Yeah.
for it. Right? You can't just send an email. Hey, buy my stuff. Let's meet up. It's at least take me to dinner first, and then we'll have a
Yeah.
then we'll have a chat.
I don't know if
Um,
if you can see the comments, but hey Bev, morning. Bev's on, and she's just put, the minute someone says we've got some synergies, you literally expect a pitch slap like straight after. Like that's an absolute classic, that one, isn't it? Oh, and James is on as well. Hi James. Yeah, I think from my perspective, and I've spoken about this for the last 12 months, and I'm glad that I stuck with it because I think it's actually ringing true. But
mm,
moving into 2024, the world, the gap that used to be between marketing and sales has actually shifted. So it used to be marketing versus sales. We've been there. We've all been there. And moving
yeah.
into 2024, I think sales needs to be more marketing than ever, because you can't just call somebody and pitch them something, or
No.
like Bev said, pitch slap somebody. It is about social selling and building
Mm,
relationships with people that means
yeah.
something. So people, we've got our phones on our fingertips like 24 hours a day now. We've all got our phones, and when I've got a need, I know who I'm going to use for that before I've even got that requirement, because I'm educating all the time on LinkedIn, and I'm seeing people and I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
person does this person does that. And if you create a great persona, exactly like you've done as well, actually, on LinkedIn, and you and James are like two people that I absolutely love on LinkedIn, because you do it really well. You're sharing things and you're helping people and you're educating people, so people trust you and they want to work with you, and that is exactly what it's all
Yeah.
about. But do you agree, like next year things are going to be totally like different with sales? The people that are like cutthroat, like buy this, are really going to struggle, whereas perhaps the
Yeah.
people historically that struggled with being really direct, they're going to be the ones that are absolutely like raking it in, aren't they?
Yeah. I would say I think over the last 5 years, I could, I've become more of a marketer than a salesperson,
Yeah.
because the way of trying to ram something down someone's throat because you're trying to convince them they need your product
Yeah.
is gone. That's pretty much died out almost.
Yeah.
Um, it's now the other way around, where you don't have to convince anybody. You just need to show them that this is how it's
Yeah.
going to help their life become a little bit easier. And if it's not the right
Yeah.
time, okay, they'll
It's
come
fine.
back round.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've had it here where I am. In that first year at Big Tin Can, I booked, 100 cold meetings via email, and the next year plummeted because email was starting to die out. However, the people that we're speaking to were coming back because it was like, oh, I've seen you posted this on LinkedIn. I'm interested in how you do that, or you shared this piece of content with me. And it's like, well, you can't buy on first call. I remember in a company that as well, I'll not name their name, but you could sell something to somebody, a piece of software, that on a call, on a first cold call, back in the day, but it just doesn't work like that anymore.
Yeah. And what's your thoughts on telemarketing? And I've just noticed actually, Mark's just left a comment. Hi, Mark. He's just said he's noticed something similar. He's joined a group recently, and immediately he's got like multiple copy and paste spammy messages of people trying to sell him qualifications and courses, and he ended up leaving the group because of it, which is so common. But
Wow.
what's your thoughts on telemarketing? Because I obviously, me, like literally back in the day, I was Mrs. Market Makers, like literally cut me and I would bleed blue. But I was almost glad that I kind of did finally leave that and move into other avenues and explore new things, because
Mm,
telemarketing is great and it does still work. However, there's a caveat.
yeah,
It has to be with LinkedIn calls and emails. So it isn't the old school, you must make 20 calls an hour. Like, you probably still can get business from doing that, but it's also not cost effective
yeah,
anymore. Like, if you're going to do a telemarketing campaign for £6,000, you might get like 10 appointments off the back of it, but there's much more cost effective ways these days to generate new business. So what's your thoughts on that? Do you think there's still a place for telemarketing?
Yes, I do. I do see that there is definitely a need for it, and I think especially for those sort of small to medium sized businesses, like it's almost like a bit of a not like a lifeline for them, but it's definitely something that to help get their name out there very quickly, generate some results quite quickly. However, it's not the let's cold call everybody and let's try and get people to
Yeah,
take a meeting. Like you can't. It has to be a systematic campaign that
yeah,
has calls, has an email,
yeah,
soft touches, soft call to actions, like a LinkedIn message. And I think if it's all around showing how, this can help engage people, help you collaborate better, and you can measure it, that's what I'm interested in hearing. I'm not about, oh yeah, cool,
yeah,
your founder founded this company because he got inherited £1 million and is now wanting to take over the world. It's like, you're generally here to help me understand how I can overcome these challenges that I'm currently facing in my role. That's what I
yeah.
want to see.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's just that single channel on its own, it's you're making it hard for yourself if you were just doing telemarketing without using
yeah,
LinkedIn emails and calls like combined together. So question for you now then. How do you think the culture of networking on LinkedIn needs to evolve to counteract all this negativity that's going on with people that are literally spray and pray? That James made a great point yesterday. He was like, it's like people have read the Alex Hormozy, if I've pronounced that right, book, the $100 million leads, $100 million offers.
not read it,
And
but
it's,
I
it's,
know it.
it's good. It's a good read. And then they're just like, right, basically what we need to do is we need to send a million emails out to everyone and we'll get some stuff back. But yeah, so how do you think the culture of networking needs to evolve to counteract this negativity we've got at the moment on LinkedIn?
I think it comes down to if you're talking to, like, for example, like a networking group or just
Yeah,
network in general, then it comes down to a couple of things. It's the admins who are managing that, say, that networking group that you're part of, and who they're bringing in to that network. So the
yeah,
gatekeeper of that network, they need
yeah,
to up their game because, oh yeah, look,
yeah,
we've got 1,000 people in here, but you've got 1,000 people, and out of those 1,000 people, maybe only 700 of them are the right type of people, but you've got 300 people there that are destroying the network and upsetting people
yeah,
because there's mass spamming.
yeah,
So by sort of taking a step back and going, well, no, maybe we don't need 1,000 people. We need 500 core people in this networking channel
yeah,
that can really provide value. And anybody that does one, or you get one chance, one strike of pitch slapping in a post, right?
yeah,
Well, then you're out because that's not what we're here for. We're here to try and educate each other, help each other. And if I want to find out a bit more information about what we're doing,
yeah,
then yeah, then it's up to you to reach out to that. But I think there needs to be a bit more governance around who people are letting into these networking sessions, and then also you as an individual who you're
yeah,
inviting into your LinkedIn, network. Because if you're just
yeah,
accepting everybody, I mean, I've done it before. I've just
yeah,
accepted,
yeah.
look,
So
all
have
these
I, and
people,
then I've
yeah,
got rid of them.
let's go.
Yeah,
And then it's like,
yeah,
Adam, let's help you with this, or do you want to do some cold calling training? And I'm like, guys, like this is not how you should be doing things.
yeah,
So I think it just, yeah, like there's two ways to improve it: is improve your connections, um, and do you really want to have that person as part of your network? Like, so when I look at people on LinkedIn, I see what they're posting before I accept them.
yeah, yeah,
Because if they're generally out there posting about stuff, then I'm like, okay, yeah, this person can maybe add value to what I do, or they haven't posted something in 90 days, not even reshared a post, but they're looking to connect with me. Well, there's an instant pitch slap coming right for me,
yeah, yeah,
so I'm not
yeah.
accepting their connection request. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great
um,
point. Yeah. And I've recently genuinely been trying to use LinkedIn to do actual real life networking with people because that's what it's for. And I've
yeah,
made some really genuinely good connections. Like one of my newest, I'm gonna call him a friend actually, a guy called Steve O'Neill. He does something similar to me. And some people
mhm,
are like, well, you shouldn't speak to anyone that does something similar. Like he's a trainer, different kind of area and consultant, but different area. But we literally sat and had coffee last Friday, and we were chatting for like 2 hours, like solid, about, you know, what challenges we faced as business owners, like what's working, what's not working. And we were
Yeah.
like, God, this is so nice, like that we can have this conversation and there's no hidden agenda of us talking to each other. Like we're not trying to sell each other something. And he's helped me, you know, I gave him access to my workshop, he gave me access to his workshop, and we were like giving each other feedback. And it's just like,
Yeah.
God, this platform is amazing, and I think we just want to make it great again for everyone, because it has become, you know, you know, something it isn't, and it's frustrating. And somebody else has just commented, and I can't see who it is because it just says LinkedIn user, but it says spray and pray does not work, especially when the call to action is, are you free for 15 minutes on a Tuesday? I get a lot of this, even though I'm not a decision maker. And do we chat with a stopwatch? Like, yeah, it's just yeah, it's yeah, I literally had one. I get more spam emails than normal emails. Like you know, it's
Oh,
crazy. Like I had one just before I come on here, and it was, they'd missed the personalization, so it said hi first name, and you're like, oh man, and hasn't even
you know
started.
what? Do you know what? I
Yeah.
used to, as part of my outreach, I actually used to put hi first name and then straight underneath it, I'd write only joking. Jody, are
Oh,
you
good
free?
idea.
So it'd be
I
like,
love
oh,
that.
look at this. It's like, oh no, hold on a minute. What else has he said here? Oh, he's only joking with me. So it's a bit of humor
Yeah.
for immediately off the bat. It's had some good replies.
Yeah, I've seen some of
But
the cool
just
stuff you and is it James is his name James
yeah,
Bizzle?
he does James Bizzle, and then yeah, he does
Yeah.
some funny stuff. We've done when Vidyard was like quite a big thing back in the day. I remember me and him used to
Yeah.
making some funny videos just to get people's attention. I had a video of me pushing myself along. He had like a wooden floor, and the video was like recording, and you just see me come across the screen holding a sign saying "Fancy a chat," and then I disappear off. And so it was a really funny
Love that.
it's standing out, right? You know,
Yeah.
this is one of the biggest issues with
Yeah.
LinkedIn is everyone is so effing serious and put on
Yeah.
this massive front, thinking that this is the best way, that's the best way. When actually, if you removed LinkedIn, those people would crumble.
Yeah.
They'd crumble.
Yeah.
Um,
And the one that always frustrates me is like, the thing is, every single business is doing some form of lead generation. Like,
yeah,
you know, they are, whether it's networking, referrals, whatever you call it, they're doing lead generation. I reached out to somebody who's a connection of mine. Um, Again, same message, like, look, I'm looking to network. And they're actually an agency that are like a call center. And the guy just read my message and ignored it. And I'm like you've got a team of people that are doing that for you. Like, you've got to, like, I'll always reply, even if it's like a pitch slap. I'll be like, look, come on, like, you've not even looked at me. But anyway, we've got
yeah,
like 10 minutes left. Let's talk about things that we could, like, things that we've learned that we could help people with,
yeah.
so that are new to LinkedIn. So for example, like, I think Mark's on here. So Mark's a new connection of mine, actually, and he's starting out next year, which is super exciting. So for people like Mark who are new to this, what things can we, you know, what tips can we give them about, you know, using LinkedIn? And even if they're not new, even if they're doing it already, but they need some help, what would be your after the personalization bit and the research? What else could you tell somebody that would help them?
Um, first off, make sure that your footprint is turned on. I realized actually for a while that it would appear saying someone from Big Tin Can has viewed your profile, and I was like, "Ugh, I've been jumping on all my ICP's LinkedIn accounts, and they're just saying it's someone, and it's not
Oh,
Adam Weeks." I was like, for
that's a
goodness
good
sake!
one.
So yeah, make sure it's turned on,
Yeah,
um, because someone might see that like, oh yeah, Mark has visited my profile. Well, I've never heard of him. What does Mark do? Oh, actually, yeah, I will accept his, or I mean, I'm going to send him a connection request, the other way
yeah,
around.
yeah.
So definitely turn your footprint on, for sure. And then I guess what help other people, just
I've
make sure
my
that if
my
you're looking
biggest
to,
one. Oh, you go
oh,
first.
sorry,
I'll
go
share
ahead.
mine after. I was just
I
I
was
was
gonna
just going to
say,
say. Oh, you go. You go.
I was just gonna say, if you're connect with as many of your ideal customer profiles as you can, because if you share something and you have 100 marketing directors that you can work with, and one of them turns around and says, sees your post, and you call them or you email them, they'll remember that it was you that posted that, because they will, because people are all, like you said, Jody, you've got our phones in our hands. People will
Yeah.
remember some of the stuff you've posted. And I get it when I get on calls. Oh, I seen your post um, about X, Y, and Z, and then I actually came onto a call with my President's Club shirt on by accident, and the guy was ripping me, going, "So not only are you like posting really cool stuff on LinkedIn, you're the President's Club winner. So we must be dealing with the best of the best here at Big Tin Can." And I was like, "Yeah, you don't get on. You're lucky. Most people don't get on calls like this. But having the social something to
Yeah.
refer to, that
Yeah.
call was not a customer call. It was a friendly chat."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And I think my biggest learning from being within LinkedIn for the last, probably not a full 12 months yet, but it's actually genuinely wanting to help people. And I think that's how you can
Yeah.
stand out. Like the amount of people that I've actually helped. I had a call with somebody yesterday and they were like, well, what do you want from giving me this advice? And I was like, I don't want anything. Like, I
Mm,
want to help you. Like, we've all got to help each other. Like, now I've helped you, you might go tell somebody else that I do know my stuff when it comes to lead generation,
yeah.
and I gave them tips last night and they've already done it and they've messaged me this morning saying they've booked 3 calls. Like I
Mm,
could have taken some money from him, but I was like, that's not what I want
yeah.
to do. Like
No.
I'm trying to create a brand of Jodie Goodchild where people know that they can trust her. And,
Yeah.
I think for me, that's been the biggest thing. So I've done a lot behind the scenes. I don't necessarily post things, you know, all the time. But what I'll do
No.
is I'll contribute to the articles behind the scenes on business development and lead generation. And
Yeah.
that's how I got my top lead generation voice, because I'm not almost like, I can't think of another way to say it, but so I'm not going to say it because it's not the right way to say it. It's not the right phrase, but there's a lot of people on this platform that show off and they're like, I've done this and I've earned this much money and I'm doing this. Whereas I've just spent time behind the
Yeah.
scenes, sharing genuine things that are going to help. Like if you look at those collaborative articles now, there's so much crap on there. And you can tell someone's just
Mm,
gone on Chat GPT, pasted the question in, and it's just put a load of crap in there. Whereas I genuinely
yeah.
think about what I'm going to say and I'll share things. And I've got leads from that. Like I've had
Mhm.
people drop into my inbox on LinkedIn and they're like, oh, can you do some bespoke training with us on lead generation? Because we don't know how to, we don't know how to do it. And I'm like, how did you find me? Like, I'm not doing any
Yeah.
marketing. And they're like, oh, you commented on that collaborative article and I saw that you shared some really good stuff. So yeah, it's the future. The future is helping people. It's not, sales used to be all about, out there on your own, like, you know, let's not wear any socks and sell this to as many people as we can sell. you know it used to be like that, whereas now it's like, let's build genuine relationships, let's help each other, and almost create a bit of like an ecosystem around it. Like,
Yeah.
you start meeting people and then you speak to somebody and they're like, oh, do you know somebody that can do this? And you're like, oh, actually, yeah, I do, I know this person. And it's not a lead for
Yeah.
you, it's a lead for somebody else. But then you give that person a lead and then somebody talks to them and says, do you know someone that can help with this? And they're like, oh yeah, I know this person. And that's how I think it's going to go.
Well, I would hopefully like to see it go that way, and that's why some of the
Yeah.
stuff, like, I've made it. You've just, have to look back through my LinkedIn posts. Like, I've made a transition away from, either just sharing rubbish that doesn't mean anything, to actually sharing
Yeah.
some actual insights and content that will ultimately change someone's day, a call, could even change their week, their month.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, it's helped me in the past, so why should I not share that?
Yeah.
Some of the feedback I've had where I've built, like I was sharing it recently, a post demo follow up cadence. So you've done your demo. Some salespeople think, oh, right, we're done. Even if you've got like a 1 week sales cycle or you've got a 1 year sales cycle, it's like, oh, we're done. Well, that's they're going to buy, but they actually don't do anything. They expect the customer to come back. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, I actually built a step-by-step cadence with actual instructions, actual insights into what you should send, when you should send it, how you should send it. And I've been giving that away absolutely free. And some of the people that have been using it, I got some feedback saying, Adam, because I was able to follow the structure, I was able to close like my first 20K deal. And it's like, perfect.
Yeah.
Great. It's
Amazing.
worked. It's not just worked for
Yeah.
me, but it's worked for somebody else. And I think there's a lot of people that are giving away a lot of free value, and they're the people to stick by, because one day you might need that value to get you out of to help you, or someone will
Yeah.
come to you and say, "Oh, look, I've been following your stuff. It's been helping me. I'd like to dig a bit deeper to see how you could,
Yeah.
move the needle for us." So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So,
Yeah.
last question then. If
Yeah.
you could wave a magic wand and change one thing about how we do lead generation on LinkedIn, what would it be?
Ooh.
Good one, isn't it? It's going to get you thinking.
One a wave of wands. What could change? I think it comes back to what I said earlier, is stop trying to convince me that I need your product to overcome a challenge that you think I have.
Yeah.
Tell me about how. So instead of pitch staffing me like that, why don't you just tell
Yeah.
me a customer story about how you've helped someone like me?
Yeah.
So I'd rather see that happen than having Beverly, what you're saying there, like kicking off, saying like, you're pitch staffing me. That's it. Why? What do you want from me? But it's like, you imagine getting told a story that resonates with you, your business, and your role. You would
Yeah.
being more enticed to listen to it, because as kids, we were always told stories, whether they were
Yeah.
99% of them were fake. I do it with my son. They're not real, or they're made up. But we buy into the story and we
Yeah.
listen more, and it captures our imagination. So if I was to wave a wand, I'd say all those people that are pitch slap me with a story that resonates with me, and I might actually say, I'm interested in learning more about how you did that.
Yeah. Make it relevant to you rather than just generic. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think for me, it would be just having a way, I guess. It would be great if LinkedIn had a way where you could report pitch slapping. Like if you're able to like literally just report, and then they had like a team of people that were like, right, you've abused it, get out.
Yeah.
Like that would be good, because then people wouldn't have the worry that is there at the moment when you get a connection request and you think, oh, here we go. Like in my connection request recently, I've had to physically put like, don't worry, like I'm not going to pitch you, because for me it's tough because I've got lead generation in my profile, and it is literally
Yeah.
like everyone's like, lead generation, like I don't want to connect with her because she's going to try to sell to me. Whereas I'm like, I don't want to try and sell to you. Like I want to try and connect with you and understand what you're doing. I want to keep my finger on the pulse in lead generation and find out what's working for companies, what's not,
Yeah.
help them with things that I've learned, and network and use the platform for what it's about. And, it's just a shame that there's a group of, well, it's probably more than a group, it's a herd of people that are ruining it for,
Yeah.
the
Well,
platform for how good it is.
I mean, why would you not want to connect with someone who's got lead gen in their title? Because they could be
Yeah.
sharing something that you're not doing that might actually,
Yeah.
you go,
It's a
oh, well,
shame.
never thought about that. Let's give it a go. Because it's like someone mentioned on LinkedIn the other day. It's like your go-to-market playbook is not set in stone. Because if it was, your
Yeah.
business wouldn't thrive
Yeah.
if you're constantly changing tactics as you go along, because it's something that you build as you go. Like, take
Yeah.
James, who was on yesterday. Does he
Yeah.
stick in one area? No, he has this wide
Yeah.
net that he goes after, and then it funnels down. But then that wide net might not catch as many people, so he moves it to the left or he
Yeah.
moves it to the right, and then it catches a bit more, and then it funnels down. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just that's just, yeah, my opinion on that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think the last thing I'm going to say is that, I know there's a lot of companies out there that have got, I'm going to call it like old fashioned business development happening. They've got, maybe just one or two people that, they've not got any targets in place. They're just told to go out there and, try and find some leads and get some contacts and things like that. And, there
Yeah,
it is, like you've said, you've hit the nail on the head. Lead generation, one has changed, but it's also evolved, and it's something you always have to evolve. It's like,
yeah,
it's like your car when you have to take it in for an MOT. You have to review everything to do with your lead generation strategy regularly to make sure that it's performing in the way that it needs to perform. Otherwise, it's not going to work. But I've
yeah,
really enjoyed chatting with you, and it was good to see you,
yeah.
because we used to work together once upon a time,
That's
um,
it.
back in
Good
the
few years
day.
ago now.
Yeah. How
Had
many
a,
years
had a
ago
better
would it have
hairline
been?
then. Uh, uh,
Yeah, you
I don't
didn't.
know. 7? I think it's like
Yeah,
7.
no, it's more than that, I think. I
Is
think
it?
it's got to be a good 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, time
Yeah.
flies. But yeah,
Yeah.
great chat. If anyone's got any questions off the back of watching this for me and Adam, like pop them in the comments and we'll be happy to answer them, or drop us a DM, you know, if you've got anything that we can help with. But I'm back on again now Tuesday. And I've got you know Lewis Staples, Adam. I think you know Louis.
Yeah.
Great guy, absolutely hilarious, like great banter, always makes me laugh. We're on Tuesday for another cuppa and a conversation. So if anyone's about, join us. But yeah, thanks for joining, and have a great weekend because it's Friday today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Thanks very much.
No worries.
It's
Right,
great to see you too,
I'll end
as
it.
always.
Yeah.
I'm still alive. How cool is that? Better leave.